This is
Just
a
double
great setup
checking.
you have.
I've done different things over the years, and this has been like the newer setup. I'm in my closet,
I love it.
Oh,
which
that's a
is
great
why I'm,
idea.
yeah, I record in here because it's so dense, so it actually does sound
Mhm.
good.
Whenever we first started, we used to record in our car when it was just the two of us.
Oh
Because
yeah,
it's the
The
best.
audio
totally.
is
It's great
fantastic.
audio quality when the doors and windows are closed in the car.
It's actually
Hmm.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold for sirens, but that's about
Yes.
it.
Oh, literally that. And like in the summer, we would like take breaks and
We
because
would
we would just be
sweat.
like sweating sitting in this hot car.
We would just crack the door open, let a little air in, and then we'd
Oh my
close it and keep
God.
going.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much though for doing this. We
Oh
really
yeah,
appreciate you taking your time.
for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
But no, our podcast is all about the 90s, 2000s, all the shows, movies, music that we loved growing up, which I feel like you're kind of like in the same realm with your podcast, kind
Hmm.
of revisiting this time in your life. How has it
Yeah.
been going back and kind of reliving it now for you?
Doing the podcast with Stacy Keanan has been a real dip back into time. I mean, so much of it, there's things I remember really well from that time, certain episodes I remember well, certain feelings I remember well. And then there's just other stuff that like I completely didn't, I either forgot about or I wasn't privy to because I was like
Mm.
really young. So there's things that she's telling me that she remembers that I'm like, that never happened. She's like, no, that happened.
Oh,
Or no, I'm pretty sure this was the vibe. And I'm like, really? Like I had no idea.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's never watched the show either.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So yeah, 30 years later, she felt like I feel like it's finally time
It's
maybe that
time.
I
Hmm.
watch the thing that I did,
Yeah.
Hmm.
that everyone still wants to
For
talk
what,
about.
7 years? Yeah.
Yeah. It's all very accessible now. You can usually find every season of every show
Yeah.
somewhere to stream. And I mean, she wouldn't be alone in watching that show. The amount of people that we talk to and they've never watched their show, but now maybe their kids are or their kids' friends are watching it. And it was 20 years ago. Like
I
these things were
know.
a long time ago, but
I
people are
know.
finding them and loving them.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends now they're have kids like same age as my kids, and
Hmm.
Hmm.
they're starting to show them some of the TGIF lineup and shows that they watched. And so a couple of my friends' kids have really grown to love Step by Step. And now they're like wowed that that's me. They can't
Uh-huh.
like
Can't
compute.
associate it.
Yeah, that why that. But
Yeah.
I have a voicemail saved because it's just so sweet of my friend's daughter being like, "I love you on that show, and you're my favorite
Oh,
character." And it's just so funny.
that's
Like
so
30
cute.
years later, there's a kid that's discovering this show and loves it all over again.
Yeah.
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 And I wonder, it must maybe be a little bit strange for you, but because everything is so accessible and there's social media and heck, cell phones, sometimes they weren't even around in some of these shows, you can get a voicemail from somebody, or you might go to a convention that are happening a lot now, and someone can come up to you. And before, I mean, us as kids, we'd watch something, there was never a chance you'd meet that person. There was never
Right.
a
Or like
chance you could send
interact
them a
with online.
message.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
totally.
So do you find that you have people that can kind of reach out to you and express their love for a show, even though it was so many years ago?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I did 90s Con a year and a half ago for the first time. I hadn't really done many cons before, a few, but this one is specifically geared towards obviously the 90s and all the shows in the
Hmm.
90s. And Stacy came with me, a bunch of the cast was there. And aside from it being like a high school reunion of all
I
these people
bet.
that I grew up with, that I haven't seen many of them, like a weird TV
Yeah,
high
that
school
must have been
reunion.
strange.
Yeah.
Um, but aside from that, which was cool, the people that came up to me who were, my age, maybe even a little younger, who just still like telling me that like how much it meant to them when they were kids.
Oh.
Maybe they refound the show for their kids or refound it. A lot of people said they found it during COVID when they
Yeah.
were going
Mm.
through like a really hard time and just wanted to feel comforted
Hmm.
and rewatch the entire season. And that just like, it just really warmed my heart. I mean, I don't think that I had any idea of what the lasting impact of this show would be for people,
Hmm.
Oh,
um,
sure.
or even really what it meant to them then. Because, like you said, there was no like double-sided feedback. There was fan mail, and then you might send like a
Mm.
postcard. And,
Hmm.
aside from doing maybe a charity event where I was signed autographs, I mean, you're reading about someone in Teen Beat magazine, and that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Teen
all you
Beat.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
I think one of my favorite parts of doing this podcast is whenever we book a guest like yourself, I will go back and watch a couple episodes of the show. But this is one I was like, oh, it's right there on HBO Max, and I ended up watching like the whole first season and a half after after we emailed you because I got so sucked in, and I was like, even as an adult, this show is still so good. It's so fun to watch, and I
It's
can
really
see why
fun.
even people discovering it for the first time today enjoy it. Like I don't know, it just has a really special feel even
Hmm.
watching it today.
It does. And it's, I think there's something, I mean, there's something so likable and steady about those two characters, Frank and Carol. They're like the mom and dad that you would, I think, really love to have. You want to root for them. They're very different from each other. But then also, all these kids that don't necessarily always get along. Like life isn't perfect, and they have to really work at it. And so, yeah, I think I don't know. I think there's something really relatable in some ways
Yeah.
to it. And I always forget too, this was a time in which like divorce was such a taboo subject.
Hmm.
So talking so much like openly about a blended family and what that meant, was
Yeah.
like something that felt very cutting edge in 1991. Um,
True.
Yeah.
so yeah, it's so I definitely think that resonated with a lot of kids too, who maybe felt like, oh, I'm the one kid in my class that parents are divorced.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no big deal. Who cares? It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Everyone's divorced.
You'll get through
Everyone
this
is.
too. We'll all get through it. Yeah. But yeah, it's really cool. And I have to say I have really enjoyed rewatching it. Like on the days I know we're gonna record our podcast, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch these episodes.
Hmm.
Um, and especially now we're in season 3, and I'm not really remembering a lot of these episodes as much. I was like probably in ninth grade at this point, so school was getting really heavy for me. So if I wasn't heavy in the episode, I just kind of tuned out and like went to school.
Sure.
Hmm.
Um, but I really think it's the sweet spot of the show.
Yeah.
So it's fun to revisit.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with a lot of shows. Like once it gets into a season 3 or 4, because then it has a fan base. Like you guys as a cast, I'm sure, feel more connected and rooted in your characters.
Yeah.
Did you remember, like with bigger cast, chemistry reads, or was it kind of a everyone bonded right from the start when you first started working together?
The pilot, I mean, it was so fast and furious. I got hired and then we started filming like 2 days later.
Oh
Whoa.
wow,
So
that's
I
quick.
think I don't even know if there was a table read. There definitely was before we started shooting. We did the opening title sequence first, which seems so
What an
backwards.
What an
iconic
icon. It's
opening, though.
one of the best theme songs. And the whole scene, I mean, a roller coaster, talk about connecting with everybody.
Right?
I'll never forget the first time I went to Six Flags and at Twisted Colossus, they have the like as seen on Step by Step. I thought it
Oh
was
my
so
God.
cool.
So cool.
I mean, it's so wild because, I got hired and then they were like, okay, in 2 days, meet us at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And I was like, what are we doing there? I was
Yeah.
so confused. I had done a Six Flags commercial when I was like 8. I was like, are we doing a commercial? My mom was trying to explain, no, it's the title sequence. I was like, okay, I don't know what this is, but great, let's do it. So that was weird because none of us really knew each other. And,
Mm.
they're having me like in the ball pit,
Uh-huh.
for like 5-year-olds. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Like,
Having the time of my
what
life.
am I doing in
You're
here?
still like, why are we here again?
Yeah. And then I think we did a table read, probably that, whatever, a few days later. And then we started rehearsing the pilot. And that was very different. I had never done anything like that. I had done commercials, I'd done theater, I'd done some movies, but I'd never done a sitcom. So it
Mm.
felt like theater. Oh, okay, we rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and then they change the lines, and then we rehearse some more, and then we start shooting it. And even the live audience, I was like, oh, okay, it's just like theater, but we're doing it
Yeah.
with cameras, and we do it a couple times, and you're
Mhm.
allowed to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Which
True.
theater, you don't make
You
any, you don't
can't.
make
True.
mistakes. So, but it was a pretty easy. I mean, I felt like, especially in season 1, we all had to get this big trailer outside, and that's where we all did school. And there were 3 rooms in the trailer. So it was Josh Byrne and Chris Castile in one room, and then Angela and Stacy in the middle room, and then me and Brandon Call. So
Okay.
that's kind of where we bonded because anytime you're not working, you're in that dang schoolroom trying to get your hours in and your schoolwork done. I mean, it's like the bane of your existence because it's like
Mm,
your other job outside of your
mhm.
job. Um, and like, and so I definitely bonded with Brandon those first few years because he was in high school and I was like in junior high and he was just trying to get out of doing everything. He just like would be reading car magazines or like whatever, like behind a book, like not even trying to like cover it.
Oh,
It was like so
you would hide
JT, like
it.
on a beanbag, like falling asleep. Like it was just, I remember they were trying to read Beowulf and he was
He's like,
like it
not for
was
me.
not for
Yeah.
him. Yeah. It was funny though. But we had great times like playing basketball and Nintendo on breaks and running around the studio and I mean, it was like a playground.
Because did
Yeah.
this film at Warner Brothers?
The first 2 years we filmed at Culver Studios
Okay,
and then we moved to Warner Brothers.
got
Yeah.
it.
And we filmed there. And that was super fun because it's just a huge studio. Um, you know, um, Family Matters was two doors down. Then on the opposite side of them was ER.
Mm.
And then down by the commissary was Friends.
Oh my
So it
gosh,
was
what a
like
time
What a
to
in
be
the
time to be
there.
zeitgeist
there.
of, yeah. You would walk by the Friends studio and like look
Just
around
peek,
and
Again,
you're
try to
like,
see who's
anybody here?
there. And yeah, always looking for George Clooney for sure.
Grace and I used to give tours of the Warner Brothers lot. That's how we met, giving tours. And we always talked about
No.
like, we loved the time that we were there, but like to have been there whenever it was your show, Friends, ER, because that's what everybody who came to the
Everybody
tour
came
wanted to hear
wanting to,
about.
Right.
yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
I don't even remember what the tour was then. I don't even think I ever took it. It's not what it is now. I hear it's really cool now.
They've like
Yeah.
really grown it.
Even since we were
Yeah.
there, they built
Yeah.
an entire stage dedicated to the tour, and it's amazing. I
That's
mean,
what
they've
I've
done
heard.
a
Yeah.
really great job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would have friends come from, I was from Atlanta. So, getting this job and moving to LA, it was just like all totally new and different.
That's a
But
lot.
in the summertime, my mom would let me have a friend out, before they started school back in Atlanta. So I'd have a friend come out for a week and come to work with me and do all kinds of fun stuff. And I was like the tour guide. So I'd be like, oh, here, we're gonna, oh, we've got like an hour. Perfect. We're gonna have lunch and then we're gonna go back here and I'm gonna like walk you around on the back lot and like this is where Lois and Clark films and this is where,
Yeah.
because you just like ended up knowing the whole
It's so
lot so
fun.
well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. And like we said, an amazing time that had to have been to be on that
Yeah.
lot. It's like
It was.
everywhere you look, there was probably some show that was filming. And that's, like David said, really what people came there to see. And we would do our best, but we
Right.
couldn't recreate that.
Yeah, we would
Right.
just show them
Yeah.
like the Friends stage plaque, even though,
Yeah.
No one's
Yeah.
there
no one's
anymore.
No
there
one's
anymore.
there, but they once were.
So our camera crew, because we shot on film, which a lot of shows stopped doing. And A, it was really expensive, right? A lot
Mm-hmm.
of shows went to tape instead.
Hmm.
This is before digital. But Friends also shot on film. And they're like real big rigs, film cameras with dollies, and they're moving around. There's three of them, and it's like a really like well orchestrated machine, the way these things have to work. And I loved our camera crew. They were just like the nicest. They would teach us stuff. They were so sweet. They were so cool. They also worked on Friends.
Oh,
Oh, what a
So
job.
what a job. So I became like, I was a huge, still am, huge Friends fan. And twice they got permission for me to come and watch the camera rehearsal.
that's so
That's
cool.
So I
so
got to go and
awesome.
like watch them and meet some of the cast and go to the taping. And yeah,
That's so fun.
they were so sweet to me. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, that is so, so cool.
I love
Yeah, we
that.
obviously they kept around Central Park and it's still there, but when David and I were there, it was shoved in a corner of the prop house. It was like the most random spot. I think people thought, well, where are you taking
Where,
us? We were like,
what did
just
I
come
pay
up
for?
this rickety
Yeah.
ramp. I promise it's here. But even then, what a cool set to be on. It's just
Oh
one of
yeah.
those shows that everyone has a memory with.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I made the whole Lego set in COVID.
Did
Highly
you?
recommend.
So fun. It's
Yeah,
such a good
Central
We
Lego
need
Perk.
to get
set.
It's a
that
really good
one.
one.
Yeah, we do need to get that one,
Yeah.
David. That one we need.
So, did you move to LA for Step by Step, or did you move here before you got that role?
No, essentially we moved here temporarily for Step by Step. So
Okay.
I was from Atlanta. I moved there when I was 6. Like I said, I was doing like commercials, theater, dance, all that kind of stuff. And like just really regional things, a couple of national commercials. I had an agent,
Hmm.
but when I auditioned for this, I auditioned from a tape. And then they asked me to fly out and basically do like, I guess it was like my screen test.
Okay.
But I flew out. I went into an office with Bob Boyette and Tom Miller and just like did the scenes. And like I said, like 2 days later, they were like, okay, they want you. Or the
See
next
you
day,
at
they're
Six
like, yeah,
Flags.
yeah, see
See
you
you
at
at
Six
Six
Flags.
Flags.
So they put us up in a much nicer hotel than we were staying in.
Great.
Got to stay in a sweet hotel for 2 weeks. Um, and then when the show got picked up, my parents were kind of like, what do we do now? Like I
Yeah.
was enrolled in a school in Atlanta. I'm an only child. I should preface it with that.
Okay.
And they were just like, I guess we just get a temporary apartment because everyone also says, don't count your chickens. This show
Sure.
could go on for 3, 5, 6 episodes and then get canceled. Don't move your
Sure.
whole family out. You don't know what's happening.
Hmm.
So we stayed in the Oakwoods, which,
Oh, we both lived there.
Iconic. We both live
everyone
there.
lives in the
Who hasn't? It's a
Oakwoods.
rite of
Uh-huh.
passage.
It really is. Um, lived in the Oakwoods with all the rented crappity crap. And
Uh-huh.
then
Hmm.
and then after like the second year, we had moved, we were moving to the valley and we finally were like, okay, maybe we need to get more of like a it seems like the show's going to keep going.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because we kept going back and forth to Atlanta. I stayed in my school in Atlanta the entire time, kept our
Wow.
house in Atlanta the whole time because it was just kind of working at that point. So we got
Hmm.
an apartment and we kind of kept it. We ended up, buying some IKEA furniture. So we weren't renting things. We ended up keeping the apartment, things like that. And then my dad, he had his job, his business was they had a corporate office in San Jose,
Okay.
California. So it just ended up working out pretty well that he could go work there for the week and then just take the little Southwest flight down and be with us on the weekends and
Oh,
see
that's nice.
tapings and then I would go back to Atlanta every hiatus. So
That is great. And I
that was
hopefully
really
that kept a bit of a sense of normalcy for you, that you still had your parents there and your dad was working, even though you were not in Atlanta anymore. You were
oh yeah.
working young, but you still had your
Yeah.
parents there. Like that hopefully helped to keep that
Oh
a bit more
yeah.
grounded.
I mean, my mom was always with me. I think it's as normal as that situation could be.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I think, there's some kids who by necessity need to go to a professional school. But then you're just around all professional kids. There's some kids who go to a public school or regular school here in Los Angeles. But like Los Angeles is, if you've grown up here, it is what it is. Like you don't know anything different.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you grow up in Atlanta, it's very
It's a
different.
whole new world.
So it's a whole
Yeah.
new world. And there was something sort of nice, I think, for me about being able to go back there and just have like no one was talking about the business. No one was talking about what
Hmm.
movie they were trying to do on their hiatus.
Yeah.
Like it was just like normal.
That's
And
good.
and
Hmm.
in some ways too though, like especially when I started the show, it took a little bit of time for people I went to school with to sort of that didn't know me to kind of catch on to the fact that like, oh, this person's on TV because who's on TV in your small town in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's like, and it was really the prime demographic at that
Oh, I'm
point.
sure.
You
Yeah.
can imagine going into seventh grade and being
Yeah.
on a TV show. I can't say it was like I didn't make me the most popular person in the room. In fact,
Uh-huh.
I felt like sometimes
Yeah.
it was a bit of a liability, honestly.
Mm.
But all in all, it was a really good experience, and I'm happy that I feel like I had a real childhood.
That's really
Yeah.
nice.
Right. I'm sure a lot of people can't say that.
Yeah.
And then we have to ask how Suzanne Summers was. We had read that Christmas time on your set was always a
Oh,
big deal and that she really enjoyed like gifts. Is that true?
It's very true. She was just one of the most genuine, hilarious, beautiful, self-effacing, gorgeous, generous people I've ever
Oh,
worked with.
mm,
She was immediately so warm to all of us. And, I give Suzanne and Patrick so much credit for the experience that I think all of us had on that set. You know, you grow up in Hollywood, you grow up on these adult environments, and they're not always catered towards children.
hmm.
Between them and our amazing producers, I think we all really came away from that with such wonderful memories, and we all felt so supported and loved. And and they were a huge part of that. She especially, I mean, she was so generous, not only in spirit, but also, yes, in Christmas time, she had such a humor about herself,
Hmm.
and she would give away thigh masters to the
Wait, that's
crew. She
iconic.
would give
That
away, she
is
would sign the thigh
iconic.
masters. She would give them to the studio audience.
Oh,
Um, I mean, she gave great gifts at Christmas time and just beautiful stationery with, with her signature, just like all of it was just so I mean, I've saved so much of her letters, and I have a whole scrapbook of things, of course, from my childhood. But yeah, I mean, some of the things that really stood out, she gave Stacy, myself, and Angela all the same necklace one year. It's
oh,
a
Oh,
beautiful, just
that's
like little gold
nice.
necklace. I still have it. And I treasure my times that I got to spend with her, and we definitely all miss her quite a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, even just for us watching her, she always came across as very, very warm. So
yeah,
it's so
Yeah.
lovely to hear that that's how she really was.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I post some things sometimes on our Keenan and Lakin page of the bloopers from the show,
Oh, I
which
love
is they've
bloopers.
never really been seen before, but they would do a gag reel at the end of each season. And I think that really shows you the kind of people because so much of it is Suzanne and Patrick, but it shows you really the kind of people they were and how
Mhm.
funny they were and what a great relationship they had. I mean, he would make her laugh so hard that she could not stop. Like she would be snorting, I mean, and those give me such great joy because that is really like what I remember when I watched
Mhm.
Mm.
that because it was like that all the time. It was just constant jokes, constant laughter, great vibe, you know, big birthdays on set, always. Like, we celebrated everyone's birthday with a big cake. We had a huge
Oh,
cast. Can you imagine how many birthday cakes
it's a lot of
we
yeah,
Oh
all
it's
my
a lot
God, a
ate?
of
lot of
cakes.
cake. It's a lot of cake.
A lot of cake.
Who's complaining? But it's a lot of
No one.
cake.
Well, I feel like it also goes to show why this show was so successful for so many years because if you're all enjoying it and enjoying the people you're working with, that's going to help the final product and why
Hmm.
it came across so as you were such a great family to us as the viewers as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. I mean,
so
I
true.
always think that. I think like, as actors, you can only pretend so much, but when it's real, I really feel like that comes through in
Yeah.
a different
Hmm.
way, a genuine way.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it landed. We all feel that way still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still do.
It's why I went to watch one episode and ended up binging a whole season and a half.
I love
Oh,
you
it
for
used
that.
to, when the reruns were on when I would come home from school, I would pick up no matter where it was. So I think at
Yeah.
some point I want to go through episode
Like start to
order
finish.
because it was
Yeah.
just at that time you would just pick it up when it was on
Yeah.
and was what you got.
Totally.
And to switch gears a little bit, there's another title that we just really want to ask you about, something that you worked on in 2008. You were in a movie called The Hottie and the Naughty.
What a
Yep.
title.
What a
What a
What a
title,
title.
first of
title.
all.
What a journey.
What can you tell us about working on that movie?
It was such a fun experience. I I got an audition for it. I knew it was this like indie film. I didn't really know fully what it was about, but I knew that there was like a transformation in one of the main characters.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I remember doing, a couple of scenes at the audition, and then it was kind of down to me and one or two other people, and they were going to do a chemistry read with Joel David Moore, who plays the male lead in it, and then I got the job, and I was like, oh my God, you're so excited, an actor, you're just like thrilled to get a job,
Sure.
and then they told me, oh, and by the way, the hottie is going to be played by Paris Hilton, and she's also, she's a producer on the movie, and blah blah blah, and I had never met her before. The only things I knew of her were this was the zeitgeist of X17 online and TMZ and all of this. And I was sort of like, initially, I was a little bit like, oh God, I don't know if we're the same person.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
don't know how this is going to go. Like, is she going to be nice to me? We going to get along together? I had worked with a few other people around that time that were not very generous
Mm.
Hmm.
and it was tough, and this wasn't just a day or two, this was going to be several weeks long. So anyway,
Yeah.
I was a little nervous, to be honest, and but from the moment I met her, she was so warm, so
Hmm.
sweet, so lovely, so generous to me. And just a real doll, a real doll. And
Hmm.
we had a blast filming it. I mean, it kind of felt like, again, it felt like summer camp. It was just
Hmm.
a couple of weeks of like me and her hanging out. And then I realized that I was going to have like all these prosthetics on. And I
Uh-huh.
didn't realize that we were going like, I didn't really get it. Like when I auditioned for this, I was like, sounds great, sounds great. Where are the sides? Let me get to the
Yeah.
audition. Like, what am I doing? Got to get the job, got to get the job.
Uh-huh.
And then I got it, and they were like, right. So we're going to need you to do some makeup tests. And they start like wrapping my hair up inside this bald cap and like giving me like whiskers and like fake teeth and like moles and like hair in lots of places. And it was just like,
You're like,
God,
now what did I really sign up for?
like, what is going on? But like I'm through and through. I once a theater kid, always a theater kid. Like, you want
Hmm.
to do that? Okay.
Great.
Like, great. What do we get? Like, I've always loved Halloween. I love dress up. I love finding the character. I love I don't care about playing the fool, you know. I
Hmm.
sort of embraced it. So
Yeah,
it didn't bother me. I actually thought it was kind of an interesting social experiment
definitely.
Yeah.
to look like that and be like that and see how people would, because people do treat you differently in life.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's really interesting. Um, so I don't know what that says about our culture,
I
um,
know. I know.
but we had a great time shooting it. We're still friends.
Mhm.
And I've just loved seeing like everything she's done with her life since then. She
Hmm.
just is like a chameleon and I think she keeps surprising people. I think even at that time, people had they just wanted to tear her down and they
Yeah.
wanted to, I mean, it was not a kind time to many women.
Hmm.
Um, Especially in like tabloid, but they really wanted to tear her down and make an example out of her. And I think everybody thought that that would break her.
Yeah.
And she just, she's just keeps like rising up and doing more and doing more. And I think proving to people that she is a lot more complex than she maybe seemed back in
Hmm.
2008.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
gained so much more respect for her after listening to her audiobook and just everything that she
Yeah.
went through.
Oh
The
my gosh.
documentary as
The
well. Like,
documentary too,
wow.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, she's an incredibly strong person. And I really applaud how she's been able to use her platform to expose some of that stuff. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
very brave to talk about. It's
Yeah.
major trauma.
Can't be
So
easy.
No, she's just like pulling back the curtain of, like you said, this is how I was painted out to be,
yeah,
but everybody is a person underneath it. And maybe that's is one good thing to take away from this day and age. It's not a perfect time, but there is more room for people to share something that might have happened to them or write a book and be able to say, hey, that's not really who I am.
yeah.
I'm way more of a person than what, especially tabloids. That is, even thinking about magazines that we've talked about in this interview already. They would just show a person and what they were wearing, or remember there was the one like compare people like this or that. Like that was just terrible
Yes.
that that was a thing. And you
It
would
was
sit there and
awful.
be like, I pick her. She looks awful. And it was common to do that.
Someone just reminded me the other day because I used to be on this like celebrity website. We're talking like 1999 or
Oh
Okay.
something. Like this is
no.
before there was any social media, but they had like the website thing and you could go on live chat and like
Oh.
answer to fans and do
Uh-huh.
live
Oh,
chat or
okay,
whatever.
okay.
And I didn't remember this, but someone found he does a lot of he's amazing, Nathan. He does a lot of our digital marketing stuff for us. And he somehow in the archives found one of the digital chats. And it was me having for, I guess, the umpteenth time explaining to people that no, I was not pregnant,
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. That's
right?
terrible.
Yeah. And I forgot that that was such a big deal. People would take a picture of you, and, if you were bloated or you'd gained some weight, immediately everyone's like, so and so's pregnant,
Yeah.
you know?
And
Just
it
like
would
It's
just
having
be
to
awful.
printed
dispel
front
those rumors
cover.
all the time. Like,
I
I look at
know.
someone who is clearly 9 months pregnant, and I'm still like,
Still not gonna
how
say
are
it.
you?
Yeah.
No, you
Like,
don't say a thing.
No, you can't. You shouldn't.
No.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
took some time. We all had to come to that realization, and thank goodness we did,
Yeah.
because
Seriously.
those were dark times.
Yeah.
And then Christine, you also do some voiceover work, like in Family
Yes.
Guy. Was Joyce a fun character to get to voice?
Oh, the best. I mean, so fun. That whole time in my career was such a blast. I loved going, down to the studios. I actually did a lot of the table reads sometimes for them, just for the
Mm,
writers so they could hear things. So sometimes I would read Lois or I would read Meg.
that's cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really fun.
it was really fun. And then they, found that role of Joyce Kinney for me, and that was kind of my mainstay. And then they'd be like, "You're reading Joyce and Drunk Woman #1," and I'd be like, "Perfect,
Great.
Got it. Let me
perfect."
put on a different
I'll
hat.
figure out who she is. I'm gonna get in the body of her.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a blast. I mean, that's the best work. It's so much fun, and I really got to put in my reporter voice, which is one of my favorite ones I use.
So good.
Voiceover just seems like such a great gig as well. Because
Yeah.
talk about probably getting to do multiple takes if it doesn't work out.
Oh my gosh, that's all it is. You're
Yeah.
just
Just
like
take after
playing in the
take.
booth and take after take after take, doing
Yeah,
different
just playing.
things.
It does seem like it's really playful.
Yeah, a lot of improv. I mean, voiceover's great. I've done all kinds of different jobs with it. Animation is super fun. Video games can also be really fun. Those can be a little taxing sometimes too,
Mm.
depending on what they are. But I just get to play so many different characters. Anyone from like a badass who's like running after aliens or, a fighter pilot, like all the way to like an old grandma who's just walking down the street. Hey, my cane. It's so fun.
Did you take like voiceover classes or it just comes naturally to you?
I took a few like right in the beginning. I remember when I wanted to get into it. And I was starting to book some jobs and stuff through my agent, and then they would sort of been like, "Hey, you should really take a couple classes so you can get to know some casting directors, and they can give you
Mm.
some tips and pointers." And it was totally helpful because every whether you're going out for commercial or animation or everything kind of has a genre to get
Mm.
to
Yeah.
know. But I've always been, again, I think it's the theater side of me. I love to mimic people. If I
Okay.
hear an accent, I'm like, say it again, say it again. Like, I love
Then just got it.
accents. I love nuance. I love the ways people speak. And I don't know. I guess if I come up with a character, sometimes it just has to do with, again, it's that theater side of me. Like, I
Sure.
could play the little boy. I could play the old man. Like, I can play the
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
the naughty and the hottie and the naughty. What do you want? I can
It
do it. What
sounds
do you
so
want?
Yeah.
fun.
So, yeah, it's fun.
I sometimes like to do that, and I think I'm a nightmare for my husband when watching a TV or a movie. I'm just like whispering to myself. I'm like trying, and usually cannot even get it. I just can't get it. Like we were watching the other day. There's a show called Lego Masters. It's speaking of Lego. It's a reality show where they build Lego. But one of the hosts, Amy, she has such a unique accent. I don't even know where she's from, and I can't get it. But I will keep trying.
Yeah.
I love to do that too, and I don't
Yeah.
think I'm fun to watch things with.
Another thing we loved, well, okay, obviously we loved Step by Step. Two of our other favorite shows were Full House and Seventh Heaven. And
Yeah.
then you, Jodie Sweetin, and Beverly Mitchell came together for Hollywood Darlings. Was that fun to get to play like kind of an exaggerated version of yourself? Is it
Oh.
weird to play yourself?
Yes, it's weird to play yourself a little bit, but they what happened was we really just became more like archetypes.
Hmm.
Mm,
So, Jodie is sardonic, she is witty, she is dry, just in life. She really leaned into that side of her. Been there, done that, got two kids, like not messing around. Kind of like the Dorothy of the Golden Girls.
Uh-huh.
mhm.
And then there's, Bev, who is very type A, um, is probably a little more conservative, or straight-laced than
Hmm.
maybe myself or Jody. So again, we kind of leaned into that and really just put her in situations where that would be heightened or she would be uncomfortable because to watch Beverly uncomfortable is just comedy gold. Um, and then for me, I think they really tried to find like what was going to balance both of those, that dichotomy out. And I just sort of leaned into like the free spirit of it all and
Hmm.
always having a cool idea or like a fun, like, a great thought, or it's kind of
Uh-huh.
like the Rose-esque, I guess, of the group. So yeah, it was so much fun. So the way that came about, I got a call from Jimmy Fox, who was the producer. He had this idea to put together a partially scripted comedy with some actresses from the 90s. And he had a couple different people on his list and was going down to just, gauge people's interest, but also their personalities and whether he thought this would be something that would be fun for them. And um, I had made a series called Love and Lakin about 3 or 4 years before that, that I sold to Hulu and then you can find on YouTube and stuff. But
Mhm.
it is literally a mockumentary that I made based on me.
Oh, fun.
But it's very much like The Comeback meets The Office. Like it's
Okay.
shot
Oh,
mockumentary style.
yeah, that's
And
awesome.
I play myself, but I'm the version of myself who just thinks that like everybody still remembers her and she's just like America's sweetheart and like I'm a darling and everyone's like, who?
Oh
Who are
no.
you? Um, so it's pretty funny. I mean, obviously very self-deprecating, but it was really based off that he ended up finding me and
Wow.
thinking this would be very much up my alley, and it was. We had so much fun shooting that show. I
Mm.
had done a couple of like Love and Lakin was partially scripted, and I'd also done The League, if you remember that
Oh
show a
yeah.
while
Hmm.
back.
Oh, right.
And I think just all the theater and the improv experience, it's like the best job ever. Don't tell anyone. You don't have to learn or memorize really anything. You're memorizing big chunks of how a scene's going to go. And maybe a
Mm.
couple of like one-liners in there.
Uh-huh.
Like figure out how to set somebody up or figure out how to get set up and then say the punchline and then move on. But it's a blast. We
It
had the
sounds
best
so
time
fun.
together.
Oh, it
Yeah.
totally sounds
It
it. And
came across too.
yeah, with the two of them, the three of you together was just, it seemed such a perfect blend.
Oh, it was like effortless. We
Yeah.
we had we had so much fun together. And our days were like so manageable and so short. We
Oh,
would
that's
film
the
so
best
much
part.
content. Yeah, in like
Hmm.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then have almost an entire season. It was great.
Oh, I
Oh,
love that.
easy.
Yeah,
Easy and fun.
fun. Yep.
And you also do some behind the scenes work. And so how did you get into directing? Was it just from your experience growing up on a TV show? Did you just have an interest in stepping behind the camera too?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had an interest. Even when I was a kid, we had a video camera at the house, and I was always making videos and making little, book reports with my video camera. Or people come over, and I'd say, "You want to film a commercial?" We would make dumb commercials. Um, so when I guess I was in my late 20s. I was doing all kinds of movies, like you mentioned, and spots on guest starring on series and stuff. And I wanted to make something that was, I think, more my voice, and that's where Levin Lakin came in. And it was kind of during that process that I started to realize, like, I think I like the process of creating even more than I like waiting around for someone to give me the opportunity to get the job.
Hmm.
Mm.
So I wonder like what else I want to do with this. And I started to like create more stuff. I created a live storytelling show that we made into a pilot, and just I was sort of on that path. And then at the same time, I got a job choreographing. I'd been doing some choreography for film and television. Again, just like fell into that. I had a dance background, and I did that for my theater company. And I ended up choreographing all the seasons of The Goldbergs on ABC. So I was
Such a good
working with the
show.
kids,
Hmm.
yeah, and sometimes adults, but all the 80s stuff, which of course they had no idea what any of this did. They didn't know what the safety dance was, what flash dance was, what dirty dancing was. Like they really didn't have any awareness of this stuff. So I would come in and teach it to them.
Hmm.
And it was around like season 4, I think. And, Hollywood Darlings had just gone I think one season. And I I was sitting there watching because I sit around for hours, waiting for to be used. And I was watching one of the directors and just thinking to myself, like, I think that's the job I'm supposed to be doing. I've been doing all these other jobs, but I think that's the job I actually know.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So I got to figure out how to do that job. And it took me a long time. It took me a while. because you have that epiphany and then you're like, okay, well, how am I going to get there? And who's
Yeah.
going to
Oh,
let me
yeah.
do that? And who do I talk to? And I've never done it before, so it's not like I can just be like, here, let me show you my all of my work. So
Yeah.
I realized at that point I needed to start shooting as much as I could. So anytime a
Mm.
friend would come and say, "Oh, I've got this like video I'm going to put up on Funny or Die," I'm like, "I'll direct it. I'll
I'm
shoot it."
here.
You got to, if it was like a music video or a digital series or a short film, like I was just directing everything I could direct. And then in season 6, I think it was, of the Goldbergs, I had sort of been behind the scenes trying to, they knew me obviously, but trying to like work those connections, and
Hmm.
it finally it finally all just kind of came together. The
That's so cool.
cast supported me, and yeah, I think it was the right timing, and so I got my first shot doing that and love it. Love it. And just want to keep doing it as much as I can. And so I worked on the last 4 years of the show.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I,
Because
really
you
fun.
don't, obviously, a writer would write the script, but then does a director come in and just like put camera blocking on the script, or is that how that works?
Yeah, so a lot of times it's right, it's the interpretation of the script and
mhm.
also
Mm.
understanding like what does the show look like? We're not reinventing the wheel here. Everybody, this is season 6. Everybody knows what this show
Oh,
is, so
yeah.
make it look
Sure.
like the show. So don't just start doing weird camera angles that
Yeah.
It's
Change
a whole different
everything.
don't
thing.
exist in this show. But but then interpreting the script to bring to the set, coming in with the plan. Okay, the whole crew is sitting there looking at you, and they're going, where's everyone sitting? How are we shooting this? So you're thinking about not only what makes sense for the scene, what's motivational for the actors, but also how can I shoot this efficiently and get all of my angles that I need without having to go all around a table and do like 14 different
Hmm.
angles.
Oh
Like
my
you're really
gosh,
trying
yeah.
to be efficient with your time and your money.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there's
Sure.
that too. And then, having the actors say, I don't get this joke, or I don't, of course, massaging performances or trying different things when you feel like it's not working or it's not landing, and, you know, managing personalities and making
Yeah.
decisions from everything from it's COVID, this person isn't coming in today, what do we shoot now? To do we like a red sweater or a blue sweater?
Yeah.
Just kind of
The
a
big and the
little bit of
small.
I
everything.
like a blue sweater. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we going
Wow.
to manage this thing when we do this big stunt and it fails and we have to reset it up and we lose, the time here? It's like a lot of logistical planning, which I
Hmm.
really like. I like puzzles, so I like putting them together too.
I love how
Mm.
we can just tell just from this few
I can
minutes of you talking
absolutely
about it
tell.
that you'd be so good at that and how much you love it.
Yeah,
David and I would be a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
I
We'd be
know.
like, David,
I
what do
don't
you
know if it's blue
I
or
don't know.
red.
Do you like it? What do you think? It's
We're
just
so
not.
indecisive.
It would take forever.
I mean, listen, the first time I did it, it was, I had imposter syndrome. I was nervous. I was like, can I really do this? I got to put my money where my mouth is. Like everyone's looking at me.
Oh,
And then the moment I got into the flow, I was like, oh, I know how to do this.
My God.
I know how to
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
it was wild. I'd never felt like that before with
That's
anything in
awesome.
my life.
Oh, that's
I-
such a great feeling, though, when you
Yeah.
really find something that just seems like you were actually kind of made to do
It's a
that.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good fit.
And then we touched on it earlier, but you're of course doing this rewatch podcast.
Yes.
So
Yes.
whose idea was it? How did the podcast get started?
So the podcast is called Keenan and Lakin Give You Deja Vu.
Great
Longest
title.
Great
title
title.
ever. Thank you.
I love it, though. It's specific. You kind of know what you're getting into. I love that.
Yeah. And Stacy actually came to me and she said, I've never seen the show. I feel like maybe it's time. I've been thinking about it might be fun. She listens to a million podcasts and she was
Hmm.
like, I was thinking it might be fun if we did our own. And what do you think about that, doing that with me? And I was like, with anyone else, I don't know that it would make sense for me, but with you, I think we'd
Yeah.
have something here. So let's try it out. So we didn't really know what the format was. We didn't know how to recap. We were like, we didn't even know if we'd like it. Like, would we have anything to talk about? So we actually recorded almost the entire first season just ourselves, just
Oh
to
wow.
see if we even liked it.
Hmm.
And then I feel like we really got into a rhythm. We kind of started to figure out what the intro was, the branding of the show, the title, all this stuff. But then we had all this footage, and we were like, what do we do with it? Um, so I was like, we need a producer. And so I had worked with Stephen Ray Morris before on my previous podcast, and I saw him for lunch, and I just kind of mentioned that Stacey and I were doing this, and his eyes sort of lit up, and he was like, "Oh my God, that sounds amazing!" And I was like, Would you be interested in coming?" And he was like, "I would totally be interested."
Oh.
So I told Stacey, and then she was like on the floor because she was such a huge fan of his, and it just became kismet. And he came in and he cleaned things up, and we went through everything, and we eventually, it like took us a very long time to release that first season.
Okay.
But then we eventually did, and now it's a runaway train. And as you know, you just got to keep going because people need their content.
Uh-huh.
So, but
Somehow, with all of it out there, people still need it.
we need it. It's fun though. I mean, so you may or may not know, Stacy is now a criminal prosecutor.
Wow.
So she left the business. She went to law school. She's been doing that job for 10 years.
What a career change.
Wow.
What a
Oh
career
my
change.
gosh, I want to pick her brain.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in that kind of stuff. Wow.
Yeah. And so her time to record our podcasts and my time, I've got two kids, like we're we find it. We make it work. But it's been, I think, a really good departure for her in what can be a slightly macabre job. And I think it's been really, in some ways, like, I don't know if healing's the right word. I think there have been elements for her that are healing, just because she never watched it. And I think she had a different opinion of the show than she is having now and of herself.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And I think for me, I'm getting to kind of like celebrate it as an adult and the reaction and stuff to it and even for the rewatch podcast. That's also just been something that, people like, you do something and then a lot of times you're like, it was so long ago. No one cares. No one cares. It's fine. It's like, move on. Who cares? But then you do something like this and you're like, oh, people care.
People really
talk about
care.
it.
I feel like especially now, it's like people are just rewatching everything from the 90s.
Yeah, it's true. So it's been fun. We're in the middle of season 3. As you know, we've got 7 seasons total.
Yeah, you still got some time to
You've
go.
got time.
We're coming out with merch. We've got a
fun.
Patreon.
Cool.
We've got bonus episodes. We're doing some live rewatches this year.
Oh,
Just
that's
trying
great.
a couple different things. And then we'll be back at 90s Con in March.
Oh, awesome.
so
Yeah, that's so
fun.
great for fans. It's like on DVDs, they used to have a version of some movies where you'd hear the cast
the
or the
commentary.
director. The commentary. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what you
Yes.
guys are doing.
I
It's
mean, I feel
awesome.
like you guys should come to 90s Con. You're like
We
the
have talked about it
perfect prep.
every
have.
single year. I think
I know.
this might be the year that
This
we
might
actually
be the
have
year
to.
we're going to be there. We've got to go.
You got to have like a little booth set up and get people to come and like interview them, or I don't
so
know,
fun,
or do
yeah.
fun little things.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, perfect
We'll
for
work
that.
on that.
We need to.
Yeah.
We've done some like local conventions in like the LA
Yeah.
area, but we
Yeah.
need to I feel like 90s Con is where it's at for
Where
us.
it's at.
It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, the last time we went. So Stacy and I we got trapped in Dallas, bad weather. We ended up having to we were shared this random hotel room. We had no clothes,
That's the worst.
I mean, just like sleeping in your clothes, being like, good night.
Oh, you feel so gross.
Yeah. Anyway, it was very funny. We got there, we started doing the autographs, the signings, and meet and greets. It was all so fun. And then, by the end of the few days, it was Patrick Duffy's birthday. So we all went out as a cast and took him to this, nice steak place across the road. And here's the thing. Don't ever try to keep up with Patrick Duffy because it will land you so far. We were in the lobby bar. I think I went to my hotel room at 3 in the morning.
Oh, I can't do that
It
anymore.
was bad.
You can't hang.
And I partially blame Stacy. I partially blame Jenna Lee Green.
Okay. Wait, did you have to
None of this was your fault.
did you have to
okay?
be up the
It
next
wasn't.
morning to do more
I
autographs?
never slept. I had to put my things into a bag and then get on a 5 a.m. flight. It was bad, you guys. Really bad. I've never felt so awful in my life.
And that's a long
I
That's
flight.
a long flight. Oh my God, it's a
had to change
nightmare.
planes. It was so awful. But I mean,
Oh,
it was really fun. So it gets wild down there. I'll just say
That's
that. It
so
gets wild.
fun.
we're gonna have to prepare ourselves. We always joke anymore. We're like, we can't do that. We can't hang like we used to.
No.
Oh my God.
We get
I'm
too
gonna
tired.
really have to pace myself this time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I was like mom out of a cage. It was like,
Oh, which
yeah,
is good
wild.
sometimes too.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
good.
Is it most of the cast going again this year?
Yeah, the most of the cast is going. They've added Josh Byrne. So we got him there. And then yeah, and they're announcing new people every day from
Oh, fun.
different shows as well. So
Well,
I
hopefully
gotta
we
try
see you
to
there.
I hope
Yeah,
you do.
I know.
It's so fun and the vibe is so good. And there's really cool booths with like really neat merch. I got some great Golden Girls earrings
Oh,
and
Love
some
it.
Zach
cool.
Morris pins.
Oh,
So just waiting for someone to have a 90s party, really.
yeah,
I know. I
yeah. You're
know.
gonna
It's
be
what we all
set.
want.
Yeah. she, she just has it ready in the closet just in case.
You never know,
Ready
guys.
to
You
go
never
with
know.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you so much again for taking your
Yeah,
time and
thank
doing
you.
this. We
Of
really
course.
appreciate it.
You guys are
Hmm.
delightful. So
Oh,
nice to speak to both of you. And thank you again for working with my crazy schedule.
oh my
Oh
gosh.
my
Do
gosh,
not worry about it
truly.
at all.
Well, thank you again, Christine. It was so nice to meet you, and hopefully we
Yeah.
see you soon.
Yeah.
I hope so.
90s
Let's try
Con.
to make that happen.